Regmarks 4 is the last word in registration management and does everything you'd expect. Manage the dealers who you interact with. Set markups on incoming numbers, either by dealer or incoming price, so you can add a larger markup on the higher value numbers. Assign names to marks so you can easily locate groups of numbers when on a call, or even have a dedicated page on your website. Search your data by names, category, primary letters, or any part of the registration. Import CSV or Excel easily. Export to your website. Export your choice of data to other dealers. Automatically notify people who wanted a specific combination when it comes in, and much more. We'll now show you a few features of Regmarks so you can see what it can do. Here we show how you can tag and categorize numbers, both to help your searching and to help with your website. If someone is keen on Porsche and they have a few different Porsche vehicles, so they are looking for Porsche in general, you might go for a 911 search, you might search for a 944, or you might search for POR, but you can group these together so that you can search under a tag of Porsche. When you set up automatic tags, whenever you import or create a new registration manually, they will be automatically applied. However, if you've added a new tag, it won't automatically apply itself to your existing data, so we've added a button to allow you to choose to apply them. Tags are great for people's names. A Rob or Bob, or 808, or B10BBY, or ROB13E can all be associated with tags of Bob, Bobby, Rob, Robbie, and Robert. So when someone rings and is looking for a Robbie-based name, you don't need to think of all of the combinations you can search on, just search by tag. When you set up the automated tags, you can also assign an automated category. In this Porsche example, we chose cars. This means you could have Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Bentley as other tags, and they can be in the same cars category, so your website can have a car manufacturers section listing, available car types, and what the registrations are. You could have categories of men's and women's names, job titles, sports teams, computer or internet-related plates, year of birth plates, and then have categories for 3x3 plates, prestige plates that are 1x1, 2x1, or 2x2, etc. You aren't restricted to automated tags. If you notice that a particular registration looks like a name, when you edit the registration, you can manually assign tags and categories to the registration. When you are searching within the main mark screen, you will see both the tags and the categories on the screen. So if you do search for a 911 number, you are likely to see a Porsche tag. And so if the 911 numbers are not suitable, you can then progress to a Porsche search to see what that shows. If you have someone ringing up asking about numbers, and they sound like they are leaving without purchasing, we wanted to give you a way to follow up with them. Here's a quick overview of some of the other features of Regmarks 4. To help follow up with a potential customer, we can log what we are talking to them about. We can select either all registrations on the page, or select all results in the search, or we can manually indicate specific ones by ticking on the checkbox on the left-hand side of each registration and add them to a target list. We can do this over multiple searches, building up a target list. We can then review the contents of the list in case we want to remove some, and then we can either send an email to the customer so that they are reminded of who we are and what our company details are, and we can also choose to log an inquiry in the system, which means that you can follow up later on to see if they are interested. If they don't see anything that they want, and if you have the Core Plus extension to the basic Core Regmarks 4 system, you have the Wants facility, which allows you to log what they want, and if a future number comes in that meets their requirements, the system can automatically send them an email to let them know that a new number is available. And of course, the email format, the inquiry logging format, and the Wants email messages are all fully customizable, with the emails having standard headers and footers that you can control, so that your corporate look for emails is maintained within Regmarks. Here's a brief overview of other areas of the system. You can manage your dealer contacts and your commission contacts on the sources area. If you are setting up a dealer, you can flag what their default settings are when you import numbers, and you can override the default markup system by providing a specific markup for numbers coming from that dealer. Source details also allow you to record contact details, social media details, and notes specific to that source. Commissions are set up in the same place, so you can record details of where a number is coming from. The main difference between a commission and a dealer is that a commission will likely have one number to sell, or potentially a few numbers, and they belong to them, whereas a dealer source is another registration business who you might send lists of your available numbers to. Commissions can only be attributed to you, so it's recorded as your commission, and then you get to associate the commission details. You can set up markups based on pricing, so that higher cost numbers can have a different markup to lower cost numbers, and you can mix and match percentages and flat rate amounts. You can provide different pricing ranges, so you can have up to £20,000 with a £100 markup and £20,000 to £100,000 as a 1% markup, and anything over £100,000 might be a 0.5% markup. Imports are easy. You simply select whether it's a stock or commission file, who it's from your dealer list in sources, and whether VAT is to be applied. Then you can click and select the file or drag the file in and confirm it looks good before importing. Usually the registration is in the first column and price is in the second, but the system looks for the two items, so if it finds them in the fourth and fifth columns, then that's fine too. Imports may take a little time if it's having to create lots of new marks when you first use the system, but once you've got most dealers' data in and the number of new marks tails off, they will run much quicker. Once imported, you can look at the import summary to see what was done. You get a breakdown of what got imported, where any errors were, where there were conflicts with your data, where a registration changed from one source to another, and what the price difference was. So you get a good breakdown of what a dealer has done since last time. Exports allow you to send data to other dealers and send data to your website. When sending lists to other dealers, they will only get the registration number and price. They obviously don't get any of your proprietary information, and they don't get your tags and categories either. Anything that is your stock would be supplied as your stock, and anything else, whether it's a direct commission or if it's sourced from another dealer, goes out as your commission. Enquiries allow you to log information when someone has inquired, so that you can get in touch a few days later to see what their decision is. As well as logging an inquiry via the target list, you can also log an inquiry by clicking Log Inquiry on an individual registration. When you go via this route, the system picks the price and source details up from the mark, so that you have a record when that inquiry was made as to where it was from and what the prices were, so if they call back a few months later, you have a record of what they would have been told. As you can see, Regmarks provides importing, exporting, markups along with registration and source management. And with the Core Plus add-on, you can get wants and valuations modules. The Core Regmarks 4 is priced at £99 plus VAT per month, and the Core Plus option is £25 plus VAT per month, which makes it the price of a cup of coffee a day to manage the heart of your business. Regmarks was initially developed as a web-based service so that it gives you access to your entire business wherever you are, but it has now been converted into a Windows product. And soon there will be a Mac version released, although in the meantime the Windows version will run in Mac parallels. For more information about Regmarks 4, get in touch with Mobunti today.